Hello everybody and welcome to my March wrap-up. Today I'm going to be going through all 5 books that I read in March 2019 and ranking them and saying my opinions. Of course there'll be no spoilers because some people watching this might want to see it, but one of the books, I was a library book that I checked out and I checked it back into the library so it wouldn't be late, but the library is now closed over Easter. So now I just have to try to describe the book, so I'm very sorry about that. Anyway, today we're going to go through 5 books. I actually read a lot of books that would be considered classics. This month I had 3 classic books, 1 sci-fi and 1 horror, and we're going to get into it right now. So, the number 5 book that I read this month is Arthur Conan Doyle's The Lost World. This is the worst book that I've read all year. I understand this is meant to be a classic, and it's been great over the ages and everything, but there were some really, racist tones in it. I didn't even finish the book because it was getting to be quite racist at some points, and I just was not enjoying it at all. I was struggling to understand everything. That might be because I'm really dumb and this book is written in smart person language. But I just wasn't enjoying any factor of the book. It wasn't really exciting at all or interesting. And yeah, Arthur Conan Doyle has also written the Sherlock Holmes book, which I really, really enjoy. But this one just seemed like a real misstep, and it hasn't aged well over the years. Anyway, the book that I was 100% certain was going to be the worst book that I read this month until I read The Lost World about a week ago was The 100. This book is another one that I didn't really enjoy, but it's like the more over time that I read it, the more I kind of enjoyed it. Just trying to make sure you can see everything on it. It is a science fiction book about this dystopian future, and all these children, these child criminals, have been sent back to Earth because there was a huge nuclear explosion, fallout, and all these criminals were sent back to Earth to see if it was safe. So it's showing 2 different stories: the story on Earth of these people trying to survive, and the story in space of everything going wrong in this huge spaceship that has the rest of humanity on it. There weren't really any likable characters in this story. It was really... all the characters seemed to be either really selfish or really stupid, apart from one character, who you'll probably get when you read it. And they also seem to make really dumb decisions the entire time. I don't want to go into it because, of course, I'd be spoiling it, but it was an interesting book to read, and I can respect it more after I finished it, and it got a TV series on E4. Probably not going to watch it. I know it's the first of a series. Probably won't finish the series because I didn't really enjoy it, but it was still an interesting book, and, well, it had been on my reading list for a while, so I managed to get it off there at least. Number 3 is J.B. Priestley and Inspector Calls. So there's a story about... Okay, we still good? There's a story about why I read this. In my drama class, we were doing these different mini productions. I was cast as the inspector for this, so I wanted to read it so I could get to know my character. There's actually 4 plays in this book, but I only read one of them because I find it difficult to read plays and understand the story. It's definitely a really interesting play, but I wouldn't recommend reading it at all, but I'd more recommend going to see a performance of it. It's about this family who are just having a nice dinner, and an inspector comes in to talk to them about this murder that happened. Well, suicide kind of thing. And and it's revealed more and more different crazy things are revealed throughout the course of the play. It's really interesting, it has a great plot twists in it, and it's definitely something that I really, really enjoyed reading, but it's not really something that I would normally read on my own accord. And coming in at number 2 this is the biggest book that I've read all year, Watership Down. This is the only classic that I really, really enjoyed reading. At the beginning of March, I was pretty sick and bedbound for a few days, and I read 250 pages of this per day. It's a 600-page book. Basically, it's about these rabbits, and one of them has, the sixth sense kind of ability to sense danger. And when they sense danger that something's coming to their warren now, a few of them move out to try to survive. This book was really, really interesting, and I love how it develops its characters. There were some moments in this book that made me laugh out loud. There were these really sad and emotional moments that made me want to cry. And it was overall like the best rounded book that I probably read all year. Hasn't been my favourite, obviously, because it's not number one on this list. But I probably won't read it again for a while, because there were some slightly sexist tones near the end. But there was a great battle scene at the end, which you don't really see in classical books. And this is probably my favourite classical book that I've ever read. I really enjoyed it, and I would definitely read it again in the future now. And I recommend it to basically anyone. And the last book, my favourite book that I read this month, ironically is the one that I forgot to check out at the library for this video. So I'm very sorry about that. Basically, it's called The Nest, or The Hive. Can't even remember the name. But it's this horror book. So I had just finished 100 in school, but then my English teacher said, okay class, today we're going to have an hour and a half of just reading time. But I had nothing to read, so we went to the library, and I asked one of my friends, hey, do you have any short books that you really enjoy that I could read quickly? And she passed me this book, The Hive, and I thought, okay, it's a horror book, it's pretty short, there's only like 100 words per page, and it's only like 150 pages. I read it in one day. I could not put it down. It was so exciting. It was so scary. The character arcs of the characters were incredible. The plot twists were great. They had Chekhov's gun ready. They had everything perfect in this book. It's probably up there with my favourite books that I've read this whole year. And yeah, I would recommend this book to anyone. The plot is, this boy, I can't even remember his name, is living his normal life. He's a young kid, and his parents have another child. But this child's really, really sick, and he's scared that the child's going to die. Then some angels, air quote, show up to try to fix the problems with the child, but their intentions aren't as good as you thought. What my favourite thing about this book, absolutely, was the character development of the main character. In most books that I've seen, especially Harry Potter, I've talked to a lot of friends about this, there's no character development for them. Harry Potter walks in, and the only thing that changes about him from the beginning to the end is his knowledge and his abilities. In the first book, if he was given the same set of things, he would have still gone up to fight Voldemort. He would have still been brave. His character doesn't change at all. In this book, the book starts with this main character being really scared of everything, being filled with anxiety. But you see, and it's only 150 pages, but you see his character change and grow, and he's brave, and it's a great book. I absolutely adored this thing, and I'd recommend it to anyone, unless you don't like scary books, because there is one scene that is really, really scary. But apart from that, I absolutely loved every second about reading this, and I recommend it to anyone. I wanted to make a brief change, so my top book of every month, which I'm trying to keep going, in January was Hatchet. In February, it was Illumini, not Sonoric Ashes, and then this one is The Nest. So anyway, that's my March wrap-up. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all have a great day. I'm going to sneeze. Go finish this quickly. Have a great day. See you all in the next one, and on out. Bye!